Hi, kids. Pastor Stephen did not turn into a donkey, no. But I am the star of this story. I get to talk. Welcome to StoryTime.
Hey kids, and we're back with story time again this week. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going okay for you. I hope you haven't had any talking donkeys in your life recently. I mean, it would be cute, but a little strange. This week, we've got a weird story, and it involves somebody called Balaam who had a donkey. Now, I don't know what Balaam was doing, except that, he got a visitor. And someone went, ding dong. Well, probably knock knock, or like, hello, Balaam. And Balaam comes to the door and goes, yeah, that's me. Who's this? And he goes, I work for a Balak. Which Balak? The Balak, the son of Zippor. You remember Zippor? No. Anyway, these were the agents. These were the assistants to the king of Moab. And the Israelites, they were marching through the desert. And there were a lot of them. And the king was like, we need to take care of these people. There's a lot. They could come and take our land, so let's curse them. Who do we know that does curses? And someone's like, Balaam. Balaam does curses. Yeah, I think he'd curse real well. So they go off and they're like, Balaam, can you come and curse God's people? And they're like, Balaam's like, you got the wrong person. I don't curse God's people. I mean, I am God's people, so I don't really want to do that. And then they're like, well, the king wants you to. And Balaam's like, the king? Huh. Well, why don't you guys stay tonight and I'll pray on it? You know, I'll ask God if I can go. So the king's men and the king's horses, they all sleep over there. And Balaam goes, oh, dear God, please, can I go with them? I get to meet the king. And God's like, no, you can't curse God's people. You are God's people. This would make no sense. So Balaam comes the next morning and goes, I'm really sorry. God said I couldn't come out and play. So Balak's men go back and they tell Balak he won't come. And Balak is like, give him money. I mean, give him so much money that he will come. Because most people, if you give them enough money, they'll do what you want them to do. So Balak's, all his king's horses and all his king's men, they went off down to pay Balaam a visit again. And Balaam's like, well, hello. Welcome back. What can I do for you this time? If you need blessings, I'm your guy. No. We need you to curse God's people. This time we're going to offer you money. How much money? Oh, a lot of money. And Balaam's like, well, come stay the night and I'll pray to God and see if I can go. So Balaam goes, dear God, they're offering money. Please let me go. And God's like, okay, you can go, but you got to say what I tell you to say. None of this cursing stuff, but you can go. So Balaam comes rushing. I can go. And he saddles up his donkey and he rides. He's getting ready to go along. He's riding along on his donkey, feeling, well, I mean, there's the king's horses and the king's men, but he's got his little donkey and he's like, well, donkey's better than walking. And he's trotting along. And the Bible says that God got ticked off that Balaam went. But God said Balaam could go, but sometimes there are people that are like, yeah, sure you can do it, but they're hoping that you won't. And so Balaam was doing something God didn't want him to do, and Balaam should have known that. You don't curse God's people, you bless God's people. And he's going along, and God gets mad at Balaam for his cocky attitude, and he's like, who do you think you are? Well, God's like, okay. So God puts an angel right in front of where the donkey would go, but Balaam can't see it, but the donkey can. And the donkey scrapes Balaam up against the rock, and Balaam gets mad, and he's like, donkey, don't hurt me, I'll hurt you. And they go a little further, and the angel comes right and stands right in front. And they can't go left, can't go right, and the donkey just stands there. And Balaam goes, if you don't get going, see, Balaam wanted the money. If you don't get going, I will kill you. Because Balaam's like, that money, I can buy a horse. Forget the donkey thing. I'm sorry, my apologies. I could buy a horse. So if I had my sword on you, Balaam says, I'd kill you. And the donkey goes, why? I've been a good donkey to you. Why would you kill me now? And Balaam kicks the donkey and he gets mad, but the donkey won't go anywhere because there's an angel right there. And then God opens Balaam's eyes too, and Balaam sees the angel and goes, oh, sorry. And the donkey's like, see? And Balaam says, I'm really sorry. I'll go home. I know I should have done this. And the angel says, no, you're going to go now. And you're going to bless God's people. So Balaam shows up to the king, and the king's like, build some altars and let's do some worshiping. Let's get all this in order. And tomorrow we'll put you somewhere where you can see all the Israelites, and you'll curse them. But the morning comes, and Balaam goes up, and he starts what the Bible calls an oracle. It's kind of a fancy word for sermon. And he starts preaching, and the king's like, is he cursing them yet? And his men were like, I think he's preaching a sermon. I think he thinks it's church. I don't think he's cursing them. I think he's blessing them. And the king's like, no, stop. So we'll try again later. And they come back later, and Balaam, he starts oracling again. And the king's like, is he doing it yet? No, still blessing him. And the king's like offering more money, more this, more that. You got to curse them. We're scared of these people. Put a curse on them so that they can't do us any harm. And Balaam's like, sorry, I just can't do it. Because that's the thing, you see, when you serve God, you're serving the most powerful person in the whole entire universe. In fact, not just in the whole entire universe. See, God made the whole entire universe. God is the most powerful, the most amazing thing. And these were God's people. And God wasn't going to let his people get cursed because God wanted to bless his people. So the king goes, all right. And Balaam goes, sorry about that. And he goes home. And I'm guessing Balaam went back home on his donkey. And I don't know if they talked a lot on that journey on the way home. I'm guessing they were pretty quiet. But I'm also guessing that they learned a lesson. That it's best to do what God says and not keep trying to trick God to do what we want to do. That's our story for this week. Next week, I'll finish off the whole Moses story, and then we'll charge on through the Bible. But I hope you've had a good week, and I hope a good week is coming up. And for right now, may God bless all of you. And I will see you next time on StoryTime.